Words and questions that change minds. This one word you want to be cautious with. And when I say change minds, it can either create a defensive reaction or a positive reaction, where they're open, hearing your message, ultimately to say yes if it's appropriate. So this one word of quite a few that I have that are powerful words, dangerous words, questions and phrases that open up the mind to possibilities, or they can say, if you say the wrong thing, it'll shut them down. So this one word, for example, is should. You have to be cautious with the word should, because it tends to have people then get defensive as if they're being reprimanded. If you say, you should do this, or you should paint your house, and people will then again think like they're being talked down to. And if you add a finger pointing, we'll multiply it. You should do that. You should move that over there. Or you should, if you're pointing to them. That will get people defensive, and you want them to be open. So instead of saying should, unless they say or ask, what should I do? Then you can respond, well, this is what I suggest you should do. If you need them to be open to a suggestion, then instead of saying you should do this, simply say this. Can I make a suggestion? Can I make a suggestion? So now they're going to say yes and be open to a conversation. Now you can make the suggestion. Well, I suggest you do this. I suggest you don't put that there. I suggest you paint the house. Whatever it is that you want them to be open to hearing the message. So be cautious with the word should. Instead of use and make a suggestion, do not point at the same time. Don't even point at the house or whatever it is. Instead of pointing, there's a few other gestures you can use. In politics, they use a presidential point. This is what it should be, almost like an exclamation point. Or we should be doing this. This is what should happen. What you want to do instead is just use your hand, almost like chopping. You should paint the house. You should move that. You should do this. And just point to what it is that you want them to reference to. And even when I'm giving presentations to groups, large groups, someone raises their hand or has a question, instead of me pointing to them, oh, you have a question? I would say, oh, I have my hand opened up. Oh, you have a question over there? What's your question? Or please, you have a question? So be cautious with pointing, even if it's not pointing at them, pointing at other objects or things. Just either say this is what I suggest, or if you have to point, use your hand, almost like chopping, of pointing your whole hand at them. That's just one word. And this, again, can either get people defensive, or why should I do that? Or that's what you think. You want them to open up and say yes, and there's other words and questions, phrases that can change minds. In essence, create a priming effect, a train of thought for them to take action in the appropriate way that you want them to take action.